cold as fuck, I'm wearing a hat, so let's roll. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Hemi Show. I, like always, am your host Stuart. It's really bastard cold because it's Christmas, and this is edited by my hopefully warmer mate Andy. That's the only thing that's warmer about him, not his soul, the evil little fuck. Love you for it, buddy. Right, so it's Christmas, as Noddy Holder once screamed obnoxiously loud. So as a little Christmas treat, I've prepared a little present for you guys. And say I've prepared, I've done no preparation, I've done none of the effort for this. It is all done by Ed. Thank you very much. So, what I've done basically, as opposed to what we normally do, which is me fucking ramble about in front of a camera completely aimlessly for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, I actually asked Ed to write me a script. So today's episode is written by Ed. Thank you, Ed. Round of applause, round of applause. So basically, I always get shit from people saying, why don't you get more history? This is Hemi, this is Hemi. Why are you going about sport? You don't do enough history. So I thought, you know what? Fair's fair. Here's a history episode. But being the massive dick that I am, I'm going to do it my way. So I asked Ed to write me a script of the most ridiculous duels from history. This is a cold read. I've not read the script. I've just given him parameters to work with and just complete creative freedom on this. So, hosted by me, edited by Andy, written by Ed. So, let's hear how I get on. The 5 most ridiculous duels from history. I'm highly dyslexic, so, and I hate being told what to do. So I've got a script telling me what to read. This can only go one way. Right, settle in. I'm really excited about this. Really, I'm embarrassingly excited about this. Right, in many cultures, the duel was revered as sacred throughout history, and as 2 clashing warriors often decided the fate of kingdoms and countries. Though, as you will see soon in this video, cheers, this will take the sanctity of the duel more seriously than others, and history has some bizarre tales of duels. Nice intro, nice intro. Right, so all I can see is the only thing that I've checked out of this. I've not read this at all. The only thing I've checked out is the headings of each section. So heading 1, I fucking love this, the Great Sausage Duel of 1865. Now immediately something has popped into my head. I imagine there's probably a GIF for that somewhere. So the Great Sausage Duel of 1865. When Prussian Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, I'm assuming that's that Otto von Bismarck, and the only thing I know about him is there's a drink in Brewdog named after him, and it tastes fucking disgusting. When Prussian Chancellor Otto von Bismarck wasn't uniting the disparate German tribes, he was an avid duelist. Didn't know that. He was an avid duelist and could be seen as a paragon of Prussian warrior ideals. Some, as you will see, took these ideals more seriously than others. Ain't that the fucking truth? And nowhere else is this more exemplified than the Great Sausage Duel of 1865. I really hope, Ed, this is not what I'm thinking of, because that is, that's a little gay. Following the death of the Prussian king Friedrich Wilhelm IV, I'll have you know, his brother King Wilhelm succeeded him. The new monarch almost immediately came into conflict with Prussian Liberal Party. Man, that's hard to say. Progressive Prussian Liberal Party, over issues of military budgeting, restructuring, and found an ally in the recently distinguished Otto von Bismarck, who had won the Kaiser's favour by quelling a rebellion in Berlin. Interesting, I didn't know that. After his victory, Bismarck was appointed to the Landtag, the Prussian Representative Assembly. In his new role, Bismarck clashed frequently with the Landtag, and one of his most vocal opponents was Rudolf... German names. Rudolf Virchow, who had supported the earlier revolution in Berlin. Okay. So Bismarck against the rebellion, Virchow pro-rebellion. See where this is going and how the duel started. He had supported the earlier revolution in Berlin and was the leader of the Prussian Progressive Party. Virchow, or I suppose it's German, isn't it? So VW is Virchow? I don't know. I'm going to keep saying Virchow. Fuck my pronunciation in this video because Bugger professionalism. Why not? Rudolf Virchow was spotted... Oh, fuck, I've read that bit already. Oh my god, I'm so shit at this. Virchow was also a scientist and an early proponent of cell theory. Oh, no way, I'll come around to this Virchow chap. Early proponent of the cell theory, making progress in the fields of anatomy and autopsy. More relevant to this tale, however, was his research into the parasite known as... Ed, you've got to do an idiot's guide to reading shit. Trichinella. Into the parasite known as trichinella. Tensions between the two came to a head over a debate about funding the new Prussian Navy. Isn't it landlocked? I don't know. Show my staggering lack of geological knowledge there. Things got eventually so heated between the two that Bismarck challenged Virchow to a duel. Yes! How is this trichinella going to come into this? I'm so fucking excited about this video. This is where history becomes muddled and the facts get lost in the story. Oh no, don't say that, Ed. I really wanted this just to be a big sausage slapping duel. Some say Virchow immediately declined the duel. Others suggest that the entire story was a fabrication. No, how boring. The most interesting version of the tale, and the one that we're going to go with, goes a little something like this. Yes, it may be a fabrication, Ed, but fuck it, we're going to go through with it. I like your style. Virchow accepted the duel and displaying either his wit, humour or cowardice, depending on your viewpoint. I'm going to go with wit, because I got a bit of a soft spot for this Virchow chappie. So I'll read that bit again. Displaying either wit, humour or cowardice, offered to fight to the death with a mindset of the most German weapon of all, a sausage. Oh, right, a sausage, not a, I guess, sausage. Right, interesting. Virchow proposed that Bismarck gets to choose between two sausages. One was perfectly fine and safe to eat. The other contained a parasite known as trichinella. There you go, there's trichinella. And whatever Bismarck chose, Virchow would pick the opposite. Mind you, Virchow proposed this knowing that Bismarck would never truly accept, as Bismarck would never risk being humiliated and being killed by a sausage. Oh, fucking hell, can you imagine Count Otto von Bismarck being killed by a freaking sausage? Amazing. How did he die? Well, I think it might have been sausage. Brilliant. Cause of death. A good sausaging. I love it. Absolutely love it. I've just seen the next heading as well. I don't know the next one. Humiliated by being killed by a sausage. Though if Virchow had outright refused, he himself would have been humiliated in the world of Prussian politics. As expected, Bismarck refused, and the conflict between the two was avoided. History ever the more boring because of it. I agree, Ed. I agree entirely. A sausage duel, even though it wasn't what I was thinking, would have been brilliant. I like this Virchow chappie. I've really come round to him. I think he's a bit of a lad. And I think he saw the ridiculousness of the entire situation, and a man after my own heart took the piss out of it entirely. Just got to log in. Check me out, by the way, not printing out, being green, using my laptop rather than printing a script out on paper. Absolutely because I'm being green and not because my printer's broken. Anyway, back to the point. Episode 2, Story 2. Oh no, Japanese pronunciation. God damn it. German, Japanese. Right. The duel between Sasaki Kojiro, Sasaki Kojiro, and oh my god, this is getting harder. I'm going to get cancelled over these names. The duel between Sasaki Kojiro and Miyamoto Musashi. I'm probably going to swap around from how I'm pronouncing their names. Yeah, it's Christmas. It's fun. Right. In feudal Japan, the time of samurai and swords, where a warrior's honor was often worth more than his life. Yeah. Fuck honor. I choose life every day, man. I'm a dishonorable fuck at the best of times, I guess. Japan during this time was full of many competing warriors, each desperate to prove their valor and superiority of one another, and often by the way of duels. Sasaki Kojiro, known as the Demon of the Western Provinces, that's a cool name, I wish I had a name like that, was a renowned swordsman. He was flamboyant and eccentrically dressed. Yes, I like this guy. This guy in fucking Workout from the previous story. These guys are my boys. This is my historical drinking team right here. Dean of the Western Provinces, renowned swordsman. He was a flamboyant and excessively dressed individual, though no one seemed to mock or question him on it due to his infamous sword skill. Kojiro was almost a mythical fame, having defeated some of feudal Japan's greatest warriors in single combat. Cool, badass. Miyamoto was also a famous samurai and would become known as one of the greatest swordsmen in Japanese history. Uh-oh, this is not going to go well for Kojiro. Japanese history. Partially because of the legend that would result from this duel. Okay, cool, so he might have been an underdog going into this. Miyamoto was famed for using mind games against his opponents, a trick that he would use to great effect in the upcoming duel. Dirty bastard. I'm already so biased towards Kojiro. I may be on the wrong side of history here. I want this boy to win. Again, this is a cold read. I've not read this yet, so I'm learning this with you guys. But yeah, my money's on Kojiro. I like this lad. Right. Wanting to settle the debate on who was truly the greatest samurai, Miyamoto organized a duel between the two men through another respected samurai. Oh, another name. Hosokawa Tadaki. Kojiro accepted this challenge, and the two warriors would soon meet in the Isle of another Japanese place on the 13th of April, 1612. Narajima. I'm assuming the G is silent on that. Narajima? I don't know. Using his characteristic form of psychological warfare, Miyamoto arrived 2 hours later than arranged. Dick move. 2 hours later, the rearranged meeting time of 8 a.m. To the enragement of both the attendees, Kojiro himself. To add insult to the injury, instead of wielding a sword, Miyamoto arrived with a wooden training sword, or bokken, crafted before the fight. Out of a wooden oar. No way, he just fucking rocked up. You know what's happened, right? I bet he's gotten pissed up the night. This is Miyamoto, not Kojiro. Pissed up the night before, loads of sake, or whatever was drunk back then. I'm assuming sake. My Eastern history is terrible. Woken up, stinking hangover, late, and gone, ah, shit, duel. Hopped into his boat, rowed over, fuck, sword. Or, yeah, I'll make a bokken. Let's roll. I'm definitely doing this guy a disservice. Okay, this enraged Kojiro, quite rightly, and when Miyamoto arrived, drew his sword and threw away the sheath, according to legend, saying, "Are you late because you're afraid, lad?" To which Miyamoto said, "If you have no use for your sheath, then you are already dead." Lame. The duel began, and the two men clashed, one wielding a wooden sword and the other a katana of steel. Miyamoto had his back to the sun, however, whilst Kojiro was staring directly at it. No, Kojiro! This, along with Miyamoto's skill, would prove his downfall. Ah, damn it, I'm on the wrong side of history. This duel abruptly ended when Miyamoto brought his wooden sword cracking into the skull of his opponent. Oof. That sounds horrendous. Being beaten to death with a wooden sword. With another strike to the ribs of Kojiro, shattering the rib cage and in turn piercing his heart. Yikes. After the battle was done, Miyamoto then bowed to those in attendance and rowed back out on the boat, in which he would later come. Later to state that he would be erected on the a statue would be erected on the island to honour the battle. It still stands to this day. Oh, cool. Still though, Miyamoto, fuck you. Kojiro, my boy. The hot air balloon duel. The fuck? Excellent. Another ridiculous duel. So yeah, that one. Battle of two samurai, and one of them was a massive dick and killed my boy. Not cool, not cool. Right, the hot air balloon duel. Excellent. I can see the title of the next one coming afterwards. I have a feeling so this is number 3. Number 1 was the Germans, number 2 was the Japanese, hot air balloon, yeah. Number 3, I have a feeling that I know what number 4 is. Spoiler warning, it's got tits in it. Right, the hot air balloon duel. Throughout history, the French, okay, that explains a lot. The French have loved to duel, certainly have. A fact best shown by the pardoning of over 8,000 deaths related to dueling during the reign of Louis XIII. No way, 8,000 deaths. That is a lot. That is a lot of deaths. So when in Paris in 1808, two Frenchmen, Monsieur... next time, Ed, can it be 5 ridiculous duels from England with people like Roger and Dave? Two Frenchmen, Monsieur de Grandpère and Monsieur de Pique, Grandpère and Pique, I think, were both vying for the love and the affection of Mademoiselle Treviere, a renowned dancer at the Paris Opera, and decided that the two should win her affection and they were to face off in a duel. Cool, fighting over a woman, always a smart move. This was not uncommon practice during France, in Paris, and high society at the time. But what was uncommon was their choice of weapon for the duel. Hot air balloons. What? No way! Hot air balloons and a blunderbuss. Excellent. Okay. Believing normal duel to be too boring, the two men were to fly up to 2,000 feet above the city of Paris. And then they would take turns shooting at each other's balloons. Oh, mate, until the victor was decided. That is savage. That is absolutely savage. They're not shooting at each other, they're shooting at each other's hot air balloons. So these two boys just got in balloons, gone really fucking high up, just taking pot shots at each other's balloons. I like these lads. Okay. Right. On the morning of May the 3rd, 1808, the two men got into identical balloons with a co-pilot beside them. Oh no, that's not the co-pilot's fault. So one co-pilot is going to get absolutely brown-breaded. He's going to get Sir Isaac Newton to death. That's not fair. Right, two identical balloons with the co-pilot beside them to operate the balloon as the two men duelled. And then rose to the skies above Paris to a cheering crowd. Of course there fucking was. Some probably believing they were witnessing nothing but a standard balloon race. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, when they reached altitude, the cords of the balloons were cut, marking the beginning of the duel. It was De Pique that got the first shot, albeit to no effect, missing the massive target even with a blunderbuss from about 80 yards or so. How do you miss that? That's a huge target with essentially a freaking scattergun. Ridiculous. Grandpère, the first guy, then took his shot, and this time hit his mark, sending the balloon toppling to the ground and eventually killing both De Pique and his co-pilot. No, dick move. I mean, this is quite funny, having a duel by balloon, but I feel bad for the co-pilots in this situation. Poor lads. Okay, so story number 4, The Princess and the Countess. This is one I kind of know about, so let's see where we're going. I think, if I'm right, this is the Baps at Dawn duel, but we'll see where we're going. Hopefully this will make sense in a moment. Dueling wasn't exclusive to men, and throughout history, women too have duelled, to test out their might against quarrels and debates. Perhaps the most interesting of these duels was between the Viennese princess Pauline Metternich and the Russian Countess Anastasia, god damn it, Anastasia Kielenberg. I'm going to call it Countess Anastasia. A duel that is just so happened to be done topless. Yes, this is the one I know about. I'm sure it's just about to tell us anyway, but fuck it. I think the reasoning for this was a paper-thin excuse, basically, to not let bits of fabric get into their cuts and stuff and infect them, which seems ridiculous, but never mind, I'm sure Ed will go into it. I think someone somewhere just wanted to, you know, service a little kink somewhere. Right. So, duel done topless. Yes, absolutely. The duel between the two was because of a dispute between flower arrangements. Oh, come on. That's such a bullshit reason to get your boobs out and stab them. I would not get my boobs stabbed over flowers. That's crazy. The duel between the two was between a dispute between flower arrangements in the upcoming exhibition in Vienna. Yes, flower arrangements. Yes, I agree, Ed, entirely. Flower arrangements, that's ridiculous. And the two decided the only way to settle this debate was with a duel to first blood. As reported in the August 23rd issue of the Pall Mall Gazette. No way this was reported on. That's crazy. Nice to know that sensationalist journalism goes back even then. Ridiculousness. Oh, we got a quote from the Gazette as well. The affair was regarded as so serious that it could only be settled by blood. Yeah, of course, flowers. Of course, you're going to fight blood. Ridiculous, bloody Pall Mall Gazette. Ridiculousness. Here we go. The decision to duel topless was a practical reason, however. Yeah, practical for someone, I'm sure. Not anything more rabid. I mean, there's someone in there getting their jollies off. I mean, surely. The female. Oh, so the medic was female. I assumed it was just some dude who said, "Yeah, fight germs, fight topless, do it." Reasons. No, that was a female medic. So the female medic who oversaw the whole battle knew that many dueling injuries, even minor ones, can often become infected from bits of clothing, check out the big brain, from bits of clothing that can often be getting driven into the wounds from the sword. And to counteract this, she recommended the duel become topless. I think this medic has an ulterior motive. For this duel, the weapon of choice was rapiers, and in total the bout lasted 3 rounds. In the third, the Princess Metric was wounded on the nose, and the Countess sustained a wound to her arm. After their wounds attended, the Princess was regarded as the winner of the duel, but afterwards both combatants were advised to embrace and kiss and make friends. I think the real bad guy of this script is that medic, if I'm being entirely honest. Horny, booby stabby medic. Dirty fuck.
Women.
Which accordingly they did. Ridiculous. Yes, that's one. I know about that one. That's quite a famous one. I think there's a something from QI in the back of my head coming up there for that one. Right, so this is the last one. I don't know anything about this one either. I'm quite excited. The billiard ball duel. All right, that sounds savage. If this is going the way that I'm thinking of, this is not going to end well for someone. As you've seen, duels can be fought in many manners, different ways. Rapiers, wooden oars, blunderbusses, and hot air balloons. Yes, I'm particularly fond of the sausage one. Fucking sausage duel. Unbelievable. But perhaps the most bizarre weapon that's been fought with is none other than a billiard ball. Ugh, savage. Those back in the day, those things were like freaking ivory. That's got to be rock art. This story takes place in the French village of Mansfort, where 2 men, L'Enfant and Malfant, frustratingly similar names, so somebody's trying to read it, were embroiled in a game of billiards. Previously, this friendly game had turned violent, however. Who fights over billiards, honestly? And as gentlemen, they both thought that the only way they accepted this disagreement was with a duel. That escalated quickly. You hit the black. No, I didn't hit the black. Fuck you, duel. Okay, what are we going to use? Billiard ball. Fuck it. Jesus. I bet they were pissed. They must have been pissed to have done this. By this time, King Louis the 10th, 15th, 14th, King Louis the 14th had already outlawed dueling. Yeah, no shit, because 8,000 people had died by dueling. That's crazy. Though this didn't stop the 2 men from engaging in one. Instead of going away and choosing a more fitting weapon for the duel, the 2 decided the quarrel had to be solved there and then with the only weapon available, a billiard ball. I mean, a pool cue is available as well. That's basically like a slightly short spear. Just, you could jabbity jab with one of those, I guess. The billiard ball seems a bit savage. The 2 men drew lots to see who would go first. As though in a traditional duel, both combatants would attack simultaneously. In this duel, the only weapon they had to hand between them in this duel, there was only weapon to be had between them, meaning whoever drew first would have a significant advantage. It was Mumfant who was the lucky one, and after stepping 12 paces away from each other, threw the ball at his opponent. Fuck, savage. That's going to have a poor success rate, surely. They must have been there for ages. Apparently, maybe not. It seems that fate was on his side that day. As when he threw the ball, he hit his opponent directly on the forehead of L'Enfant, killing him instantly. Fuck! Malfant has got a right arm like a cannon.
Uh-oh.
Holy shit. Got him square in the forehead. Hitting him right in the bean, right in the off switch. Jesus Christ. He would not be the victor for long, though, because, as mentioned earlier, duels had been banned at this time in France, and the authorities subsequently arrested Mumfant for manslaughter. His ultimate fate is unknown. Yeah, if you're going to duel, freaking do it silently, and maybe to first blood, rather than, to first brain trauma. That's probably a bad way to duel. Fuck. savageness of lobbing pool balls at each other in a duel. Jesus Christ. I mean, if you're going to pick someone, at least pick someone who can't throw. Fuck, that's brutal. As you can see, throughout history, there have been many tales of bizarre duels between equally bizarre and eccentric individuals. Yeah, absolutely nuts, all of these are. What was your favourite and which was the most unexpected? So for me, Ed, my favourite was the sausage duel. Absolutely, that was bloody brilliant. And what's his chops? The first guy, the guy with the trichinella disease, Virchow. He was ace. I quite liked him. He clearly had no intentions of playing this silly game and was fucking about for shits and giggles. I like Virchow. He was a bit of a lad. Most unexpected one was this, the billiard ball. That was brutal. That's absolute savagery, just getting a solid object yeeted at your face by an angry Frenchman. Jesus. Which is most unexpected. Yes, certainly that one. Make sure you subscribe to the next video. Ooh, thank you, Ed. I always forget to say that at the end of my videos. Make sure you subscribe to catch the next video, and we'll see you next time. We certainly will. Thank you, Andy, for editing this video. Thank you, Ed, for writing it. Let us know in the comments if you like this. We can do this again. Ed said to me the other day that he's got material for 5 more crazy duels. I can't imagine there's going to be anything more savage or crazy than a billiard ball to the face, but who knows? Leave a comment and let me know if you want me to do this one again. And if I don't see you before, have a good Christmas. See you later. Also, whilst I'm on the fucking topic, seriously, HP, how hard is it to make a printer that fucking works? How is it my 3D printer is easier to operate than your shit? Honestly. No, can't find the printer. It's right fucking there, computer. Seriously, Jesus Christ. Anyway.